The American dream of homeownership has quickly turned into the American nightmare, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. Check out this information coming up. What's going on, my YouTube friends? This is Jerry Abbott, your #1 real estate resource here in beautiful Las Vegas. Hey guys, a couple of quick things before we dive into the video. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to learn the cold hard facts about the Las Vegas real estate market and real estate in general, then definitely subscribe to the channel down below. Number 2, make sure to give me a thumbs up like, guys. It would really help the channel out. And number 3, if you are thinking about relocating to beautiful Las Vegas, I've got your back. I'm a local real estate agent here. I've lived here for nearly 20 years. I know every inch of the city. Just call, text, or email me when that time is right for you, and I'd be happy to help you find that perfect dream home. Let's dive into the video. All right, so I don't want to waste too much time here. I want to dive right into the specific details in the upcoming segments to show you guys why the American dream of home ownership has now turned into the American nightmare. Let's dig into those details right now. All right, so let's take a look at this first segment here because this is really where the nightmare begins for most people. Take a look at this article from MarketWatch. It came out a little while ago. You can see the headline. It says, Deutsche Bank says there's a 90% chance of a recession. But more importantly, let's scroll down here because I want you guys to take a look at this graph right here. Now, this might look a little confusing, but these bottom numbers show the year. So this starts back in 2005 all the way to the present year. And then over here is the 0 to 100 probability chance of a recession. You can see in the blue bar there, it says a 90% recession probability over the next year. So back in the early 2000s, that same thing happened and then it fell right off a cliff, the whole economy. Then we get all the way to the present moment here. Now take a look at it. We're up at about a 90% chance of a recession. So when Deutsche Bank, one of the biggest banks in the world, is saying that there's a 90% chance of a recession, that's really the starting point, in my opinion, of a nightmarish scenario because we have high interest rates, unemployment is likely to go up, home prices are going to probably lag behind, so we're going to have high home prices and higher interest rates, and it's going to be a nightmare. That's why I think if you're going to be buying a home anytime soon, I think being patient is the wise option right now because there's going to be a lot of economic uncertainty as we go through the rest of this year. All right, so this next article just came out from Yahoo Finance. Take a look at that headline here where it says wealthy Americans are getting hit hardest by the economy slowing down. Now, a lot of people don't talk about this segment of the economy, but the wealthy people drive a large section of the economy, and they're starting to get nervous now because if you take a look at this graph right down here, I want you to take a look at these 3 color lines. The yellow line are people that make $125,000 a year or more. The red line are people that make between $50,000 to $125,000, and the blue line are people that make $50,000 or less. Take a look at the yellow line over about the last 2 years. You can see it plummeting, which means the wealthiest, highest earners are now starting to earn less and less. And when wealthy people start earning less income and they have less net worth, that affects the economy. That's what can also potentially cause part of the recession because wealthy people drive a big section of the economy. All right, so this article just came out the other day as well from Yahoo Finance. Take a look at this headline where it says homebuyers can't get a break as mortgage rates march back towards 7%. Now, if we scroll down here a little bit, take a look right here where I'm moving the arrow. It says the rate on the 30-year fixed mortgage increased to 6.79% from 6.57%. That's the technical number, but that's not the real number, guys. Most people are paying well into the 7s. Many are now paying well into the 8s, which is making the housing market completely unsustainable. In fact, if you take a look down here, this is the history chart right here, 20-year history chart of mortgage rates. They've been about 5 or 6% on average. Right down here is when we got to the lowest point ever at the peak of the pandemic. This was less than 3%, and then the Fed started to raise rates, and boom, everything just went through the roof now. We're at 7-8%, and we're going higher. That's where there's going to be a major problem with the housing market down the line. After we get past this popular spring-summer buying season, I think rates are going to go higher. It's going to diminish buyer demand. There's going to be less of a buyer pool, which means home prices are ultimately going to come down. All right, so this article that just came out shows you the kind of nightmare scenario the U.S. housing market is about to face. Take a look at this headline where it says lending giant Rocket Mortgage rolled out a 1% down, no insurance fee home loan program. Aims to target more than 90 million U.S. borrowers. Is this 2008 all over again? It sure feels that way because pretty much what they're doing is they're allowing people to put 1% down. They're allowing people to not pay any kind of private mortgage insurance. And this is exactly what happened back in 2008 when the entire market imploded. They created a lot of leniency for people to try to be a homeowner, and homeownership is expensive. And a lot of people, unfortunately, they can't own a home. And when they fall behind, that's what cratered the market back in 2008. And I'm not the only one saying that. There's over 100 comments down here where you can see a lot of people are just incredulous, talking about how expensive it is to own a home. Is Rocket Mortgage going to cover maintenance costs? This person said, what could possibly go wrong lending money to people who can't afford to pay it back? Then you see down here a little bit deeper, what a wonderful way to put lower level income borrowers into negative home equity as fast as possible. What happened to putting 20% down or paying 10% PMI? All of these people are incredulous at the fact that they're getting people to be able to get into homes now with such leniency on these new loan programs, and this could reverberate through the entire housing market, not now, but later this year, into next year, maybe 2025. It's going to possibly crater the entire housing market by allowing this situation to happen all over again. All right, so let's take a look at this graph here. This is called the US housing demand graph. I want you guys to really take a look at this because I don't want you to get caught up with the hype of the spring and summer buying seasons here, because I want to show you the cyclical nature of the real estate cycles through the course of the year. If we go back a couple of years here, January 2021, starting the year, demand goes up. Back half of the year, demand goes down. January 2022, demand goes up the first half of the year. Demand comes all the way back down towards the end of the year. January 2023, demand is now starting to pick back up again because we're in that spring-summer buying season. Don't get caught up in the hype. Wait things out. We are most certainly, in my opinion, going to have a down cycle on the back half of this year, and I think it's going to be more severe than the last few years because there's a lot of economic uncertainty. So don't get caught up right now with the popular spring-summer buying season. Wait things out. You can see the cyclical pattern here. The back half of this year and into the beginning part of 2024 is going to likely be a better time to buy a home. All right, so now let's drill down specifically into my neck of the woods here in Las Vegas. Now, this article just came out last week from the Las Vegas Review Journal. Take a look at that headline right there where it says Las Vegas real estate investor boom may be coming to quick end. Now, I want to just show you a couple of parts of this article right here. I highlighted this sentence right here where it says investor sales in Metro Las Vegas plunged a dramatic 60% in the first quarter compared to a year earlier. Now, if we scroll down a little bit deeper into the article here, right here at the bottom where it says at the start of this paragraph, approximately 28% of homes sold by investors in March in Las Vegas were sold at a loss. So pretty much what that means is when investors start to get spooked a little bit now because they're starting to sell their own investment properties at a loss, you can see how much of a plunge there has been from investors being involved in the market. When investors are not really confident in the market, that's a telltale sign that the real estate market is changing. And that's why I keep saying towards the back half of this year, especially at the end of the year and the holidays and into 2024, that's where I think there's going to be some dramatic changes in home prices, not only across the country, but especially here in Las Vegas. All right, so now let's take a look at a few examples here in Las Vegas on the popular real estate website Zillow. I want to just show you a couple of different price points, starting on the top end all the way down to the lower end, just to kind of give you an idea as to what the home values now are worth compared to what they were last year. So let's start here with this example. This home obviously is a luxury home, $2.7 million. But more importantly, if you take a look down here in the bottom right, this home last year at this time was worth almost $3 million. Now it's worth about 2.4, 2.5 million. So again, had you just waited about a year, you would have saved yourself about 15 to 20%. That's what's been going on. That's what I think is going to continue to happen. Let's take a look at the next example. All right, so now let's take a look at this second example here in Las Vegas. Now we're getting closer to the average price point here. You can see this home is listed at about $640,000. They did a price cut back on May 19th of about $10,000. This home is valued at about $630,000 right now. But again, more importantly, take a look down here in the bottom right. June of 2022, last year, this home value was $765,000. That right now, because it's valued at about $630,000, means in less than a year, this home has gone down close to 20% again, maybe about 17% or so currently right now based on this estimate. Now, again, Zillow's not perfect with their estimates, but they're pretty close. That just goes to show you, again, had you waited about a year, last year you would be paying about $765,000. Now you're paying closer to $630,000. So again, just by being patient, this is what's been going on across the board at various price points here in Las Vegas. All right, let's take a look at one final example here in Las Vegas. Now, I usually show you guys homes, but I want to show you this condo tower here. This condo is very nice, 1,300 square feet. It's listed right now at about $350,000. But again, more importantly, I want you to take a look at what this condo's value was about a year ago. June of last year, right there where I'm moving the arrow, if you can't see it, it was about $450,000 in terms of the value back about a year ago. Now it's down where you can see the estimated value right here, $340,000. That's about a 23% price reduction in 1 year. So again, even though there's a buying frenzy usually in the spring and summer and people think there's very low inventory and prices are going up, there's still a tremendous amount of homes that are overpriced and condos as well. That's why I wanted to show you guys a couple of different price points here because, again, in Las Vegas, yes, there's always some demand, especially in the spring buying season, but there's plenty of deals to be had out there. And again, if you're patient, this is what's been happening across the board on different price points here in Las Vegas, and I expect it to continue. So every week after I go over new data like that, I keep shaking my head at the fact that most people never see a car accident happening until they're actually in one. And that's what I think is going to happen with the economy. I think there's going to be an economic car accident later this year and into 2024. Unemployment is going to go up. Rates are high. Home prices are high. Right now, it is wise to be conservative. Save your money. Try not to buy any of the expensive things with rates being this high and prices being this high. Wait for prices to come down. I think higher interest rates is going to eventually cause there to be some equilibrium finally in all the markets. And I think prices will recede, but it's going to take a while. So be conservative if you can right now. Sit on the sidelines. And especially if you're thinking about buying a home, wait it out a little bit. Wait for prices to come down, which I think is going to happen later this year and into 2024. So I just want to give a shout out to my favorite comment from last week's video, and that goes to Scott. You can see his comments here on screen that I'm just going to summarize real quick. He's talking about how the impact of student loan payments that are going to be restarting back at the end of August is going to impact the economy, discretionary spending, rent payments, home payments. It's going to have a big impact that a lot of people are not talking about. So when we get to the end of the summer and into the fall, that's where I think we're going to start to see some definite economic problems here, and that's when the markets are going to shift. And just remember, guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure to leave me a cool or creative comment down below. And of course, like the video. And my favorite comment from the video, I'm going to give a direct shout out to in next week's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I also hope you appreciate my transparency. Like I've said before, I'm always going to keep it 100% real on this channel regarding the overall real estate market with specific emphasis here in Las Vegas. So like I said earlier in the video, I think it's wise to be patient. Home prices and rates right now are very high. I would wait till at least the fall, maybe the winter time, potentially even into 2024 before potentially purchasing a home. I just think everything is completely overpriced right now, and it's wise to sit on the sidelines if you can. So with that said, guys, when the time is right, not right now, but when the time is right and you're patient, definitely reach out to me if you're thinking about relocating to beautiful Las Vegas. I'm a local real estate agent here. I've lived here for nearly 20 years. I know every inch of the city. Again, when the time is right, reach out to me. Just call, text, or email me anytime, and I'll help you find that perfect dream home. I'll see you guys in the next video.